me try to get my hustle on one more time. Let me go and like work and apply for some jobs and do the whole dream thing, because I'm an achiever. I'm not a quitter, right? I'm not a quitter. And so I don't give up easily without a fight. I believed in its power and in its ability to transform my life, and for me to be able to make my dreams come true if I just worked hard and did everything that I was supposed to do and got the education and did all the things. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. My only regret is that I didn't quit and break up with the dream sooner, much sooner. When I opted out back in 1995, I should have stayed out. Hi, I'm SYNOLVE. Welcome to my channel. I am so glad you're here. Thank you so much. While you're here, go ahead and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you're always notified whenever I drop a new video. And you can come join me and we can chat. Be sure to leave a comment so we can stay connected and I can know who you are. I want to meet you. Okay? Awesome. And you can also join me over on Buy Me a Coffee. I've got some amazing things going on, and that's just a way you can support my channel and support my content, especially if you really like these messages and they really resonate with you. Then I'd love the support and become a member of the work that I'm doing, and you can do that all over on Buy Me a Coffee, as well as sponsor a broadcast and become a part of the Royal family and this amazing Royal tribe. Well, today I'm talking about the American dream, and it's an amazing topic. In 1995, I opted out of the American dream. And unfortunately, like many of us, I would go back and forth on the American dream and re-enter the nightmare throughout the years. Then finally, in 2019, I gave up the American dream for good, or so I thought. But I graduated with a master's in communication, so I thought, oh, well, let me try to get my hustle on one more time. Let me go and like work and apply for some jobs and do the whole dream thing, because I'm an achiever. I'm not a quitter, right? I'm not a quitter. And so I don't give up easily without a fight. How many of you understand that? My only regret is that I didn't quit and break up with the dream sooner, much sooner. When I opted out back in 1995, I should have stayed out. Like a bad breakup and a hostile, abusive relationship, America and the American dream somehow kept sucking the life out of me and sucking me back on in, reeling me back in. But, what's a strong Black woman to do? That's what we're taught to do. We're strong Black women, strong Black men. And so we got to hustle this thing. We got to do this thing, right? Or so I thought. I must confess that I'm tired. I am tired. And I give up. I give up. And you know what? You should too. So I've gotten a chance to watch some really amazing creators and talk about this. And so one of my favorite creators, of course, is Timothy Ward. I am very impressed with Timothy Ward and the work that he's been doing. Of course, I've been following Timothy for a very long time. He's talked about this subject of the American dream. I quit, I give up, the American dream, in several different versions, and kind of coming to this for a very long time. And so he was one of the videos that I watched. I also watched an amazing person do a video, and her name was The Upgrade. And so I watched her, and she really did a great job of tackling this topic. I also watched Lynette Atkins, and her video, The American Dream is a Hoax. She really tackles some really amazing things in this video. And I got a chance to watch Milton Craft's video, and he did an excellent job tackling this subject. So I'm going to leave all of the links to the creators below. Because there are a couple of more. Sheeta did from Sheeta's on the Loose. She also did an amazing video on this topic as well. In Milton Craft's video on the American Dream, he shares a quote by Malcolm X, where Malcolm X says that the American dream is a nightmare. And of course, you know, I've said that many times on this channel before. And so for many Black people and Black folks living in the US, the American dream is nothing more than an illusion. It's a nightmare lived in our waking hours. And so I'm here for you. If Morpheus hasn't shown up to give you a choice between the red or the blue pill, then let this be your wake-up call. Okay? How much candy did you eat? Put that candy down. Oh, child. Put it down.
Yes, ma'am.
Put the candy down.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not gonna take it.
Yes, ma'am.
Baby, we're with you. We are with you, baby. We love you. We're always here. Like, ma'am, I mean, you do realize that the Matrix, that it's not real. Like, it's not really real, that it's really just a metaphor for choices, for making different choices, for making good choices, for choosing differently. I mean, you realize that the Matrix isn't really real, right? This is the moment where we can choose to opt out of this illusion, right? To opt out of this nightmare that's invented for us, this capitalistic system that's been invented for us. And we are like rats in a rat race. We're like hamsters on a hamster wheel chasing this American dream. And so many people have opted out, like myself, Timothy Ward, Rashida Dow, Stephanie Perry, The Upgrade, Milton Craft, you. So what, you might ask, is the American dream? Well, the American dream is a national ethos of the United States, the set of ideals including democracy, rights, liberty, and opportunity and equality, all brought together through hard work, in which freedom includes the opportunity for prosperity and success, as well as upward social mobility for your family and for your children. It's achieved, like I said, through hard work in a society with few barriers. The term American Dream was coined by James Truslow Adams back in 1931, right? During the Great Depression. He said that life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with the opportunity for each according to ability or achievement, regardless of social class or circumstances of birth. Now, thank you to Wikipedia for this view and this historical reference. Another thing that Wikipedia goes on to say is that the American dream is rooted in the Declaration of Independence, which proclaims that all men are created equal, with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Also, the U.S. Constitution promotes similar freedoms in the preamble, right? How many of us learned the preamble in school? To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Yet, the American dream has been questioned, heavily questioned by researchers, political spokespeople, and everyday people like me and you, arguing that it is a misplaced belief that contradicts reality in the present day United States of America. What is it about America and this dream that is really a nightmare? Ian Bremmer, in his book, Us versus Them, The Failure of Globalism, and also in a YouTube video by the Business Insider and articles, Why the American Dream is Gone. He explores this idea of, and the fact, right, that Americans who are working, so working Americans and the middle class, haven't seen their standards of living improved in the last 40 years. He says that if you are part of the American working class or middle class, then your life has not improved at all in the last 40 years. In fact, we're actually sliding backwards, and almost the middle class is almost being drugged by their bootstraps that they're working and using to pull themselves up by, being drugged slowly into poverty. We're losing the small gains that we received in the 40s and 50s and 60s. We're losing that. And we've taken, he says, we've taken hundreds and millions of people out of poverty around the world over the course of the past decades. But we, at the same time, we've lost our own opportunities in the West, and we've created much greater structural inequality here, right here in America. He says that your life, Americans' life, the American working class, the American middle class, their lives have not improved over the last 40 years. And this is why many Americans like myself and others and researchers and people who study this American dream, this is why they feel that the American dream no longer applies. And this is why you may feel that the American dream no longer applies to you. This is why I quit the American dream, and why I feel like the American dream no longer applies to me. And so I give up. And as Timothy Ward says, and you should too. And so the American dream doesn't bring us joy, doesn't bring us happiness. And so people who are a part of this American dream, watching it crumble literally from the inside, watching CBS Morning Show did a expose talking about how in, I guess, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, you could go out, not even have a degree, and work in America's factories. And you could do well. You'd have a house. You could live in a nice neighborhood in those same cities. you go back to those same small towns in America and they're crumbling. You go back to many of the large cities, even America, and the infrastructures are horrible. They're crumbling. And so people won't think they're capitalists. They won't think that they're able to compete in the capitalistic system and actually have the American dream if they don't have any capital. And if suddenly all of their gains are disappearing, if the gains that my grandmother gained, right, in the 60s of being able to buy a house and live in a nice neighborhood, and if that small town now is crumbling, right, and many small towns in Main Street America are now crumbling, and the gains are disappearing. People are struggling to buy homes. They're struggling to make ends meet. Home prices are skyrocketing off the roof. I mean, just go to the grocery store. You want to have a light mini panic attack. I mean, just go to the grocery store and try to buy anything. I mean, chicken is ridiculous. $20, $15 chicken is ridiculous. And everything else is expensive now. But I try to buy some eggs or some milk, and we're not even in Hawaii. And it's sad that it's even happening in Hawaii. If the infrastructure is not invested in, right, of American cities, the schools and the educations don't, education, if schools and education don't receive the funding that they need, cities aren't safe anymore. People aren't protected, and the police aren't serving and protecting as they should, right? Things aren't getting better as far as racial equality. The homeless crisis is worsening. Healthcare is lacking or non-existent for many Americans, especially depending on what state you're living in, right? And the pandemic is worsening. People will continue to feel unease and dis-ease more and more, and so they'll wake up essentially, and they will begin to not believe in the American dream, because the reality is there's no cohesive America, only a broken one ruled by the wealthy who continue to push this cult of the American dream, right? Getting you to believe, to psychologically using marketing and other tactics to try to get you to believe in a dream that is just an illusion, that doesn't exist for everyone. And so, as Milton Craft poignantly pointed out in his video, the American dream is a nightmare, as Malcolm said. Although this American economy is growing, the trickle-down theory of the past really isn't working, right? It isn't trickling down. And if you know, then you know. If you're thirsty, you don't want to trickle. No, you don't want to drip and a drop, drip, drop, drip, drop. You want a whole cup. And if you can't get a whole cup, then you're going to still be thirsty. And that's what's happening. The 1%, the rich, are continuing to gain. And the rich now own the majority of farmland and businesses, and the innovation, all the while the innovation of small businesses are being stifled and underfunded. Did you know that the top 1% of U.S. households hold 15 times more wealth than the bottom 50% combined? Just 59 Americans own more wealth than half of the country. And I'm going to leave the links to this data right below. Or if I don't have enough space, then just email me, and I'm going to give you my whole, lots of different resources to explore more about the American dream. In the 90s, Bill Clinton opened and declared that NAFTA was the way of the future. And from that moment forward, while this trade agreement helped to create successful economies around the world, it created issues and job losses in manufacturing for many middle-class Americans. And not to get too political, but there have been failures on both sides, right? Including, which I mentioned before, Reagan's trickle-down economic theory, which doesn't work. So there's blame to go around on all sides, right? And as Malcolm said, I'm not on either side. I'm on SYNOLVE side, and I'm on your side. Okay. So here we are, right? Well, what do we do next in the midst of everything that's going on, right? Uh, and before we go on, let me say, I'm glad to see America opening its doors to welcome products from global economies like Africa, Mexico, Guatemala, Jamaica, Brazil, Panama, and so many other countries. However, America has done a big job and used its bully pulpit to call out the issues and treatment of workers in China, India, and other nations around the world, while doing a very piss poor job of protecting its own workers from toxic work environments. I've talked about negative Nancy's and Broomhilda Bobs, right? I've talked about that in the Rat Race video, so go check that out. They've done a poor job of protecting people from racism, right? From sexism, from poor wages, while not protecting consumers and its citizens from toxins, pollutants, and chemical poisons that are not for human consumption, but are often found in the products that we eat right here in America. We pay farmers not to farm. We underfund Black farmers. Because that's a tangent I can go off. Look, the money was promised to the Black farmers, and then to make up for the inequalities, and then wasn't funded, and then you have the banks who are fighting it and keeping it locked up in court. Our education is so unequal that it is ridiculous, depending on when you live, that you have to leave your urban environments many times to go out to the suburbs or other places that you can't afford just to be able to send your kids to a good school. American jails are overwhelmingly filled with Black and brown people. There's police brutality at a stage of sheer ridiculousness and should not even exist if we're believing in a dream that should be beautiful and wonderful and should get better over time, not worse or stay the same. Student loan debt, the student loan crisis is at an all-time high. As I mentioned, housing prices continue to rise, making it almost impossible to attain the American dream of owning a home. Not to mention this American dream that is fueled by greed, which just defies this inflation that we got going on. Gas prices, and we talked about eggs. Look, I was in the grocery store the other day trying to buy some squash, and it was $6 for some little bitty squash that wasn't even. I was like, I'm sorry, I digress. Look, I'm just telling you, the rent is too dang high everywhere you go in America. It's too high. Shotgun? No. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Let me breathe. Look, there are ways to get out of the American nightmare. I mean, there are ways to step outside of the American dream, right? And we can leave it all behind. And one of those ways to step outside of the American dream machine that's fueled by marketing and advertising, it's all marketing. It's all advertising. The nomad capitalist says that every country is a brand. America is the brand of the American dream. And so one of the ways to get out of this, right? Because, obviously you're not happy, or you wouldn't have tuned in so long for this video. And thank you for staying to this part and staying to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Don't skip the ads. Watch them all. One of the ways, right, to get out of the American dream is to just wake up, right? Wake up and to question, right? To really stop and ask yourself the question, am I happy? Am I really happy? Am I really doing the things that I want to do? Am I really investing in the things that I want, that SYNOLVE wants? I remember asking myself this in 1995. Am I really doing the things that I want to do, the things that I love? The things that I love, writing, making content, I'm doing that now, but I had to step outside of the American dream and living in paradise and not in the cold, boycotting winter, having to be here and be subjected to a dream that is not a reality. Those are the things that I want for myself and for my children and for you. So stop and ask yourself, are you really happy? And if the question is no, if the question is really, really no, you really, really ask yourself, if working all of these hours is really making you happy, then ask, what will make you happy? Do a deep self-analysis, right? And if you want help doing that, reach out to me. I'm glad to do some sessions with you to help you work through this. Go within, right? Go within. And don't give up on your dream and revert back like I did to some arbitrary dream to try to please someone else, to try to make your family proud, your parents or your grandmother or someone else. Don't go back to things that you're not even interested in because you don't want anyone to ridicule you or look down on you, and because you just simply don't want to pay the price for being different. Do the work. Go within. Listen to the ancestors. Do the deep work to find out what you really want and to get out of the programming that your parents and teachers and professors and preachers and the media and the advertising and marketing, the system have implanted in you. We're all worried about the chips, right? Being implanted on our arms and everywhere else, but they already implanted it. Every time you watch TV, every time you pick up a magazine, every time you pick up your phone and read the news or watch a video or go onto social media, they're advertising, selling to you this American dream. You want to get rich so you can live the dream, so you can buy more of their stuff and you can make them rich. Let go of the American dream and go after your own dream. Well, this is SYNOLVE. And I'm going to leave a lot of links below. And like I said, email me. And I will share with you my resources and my list because I've got way more. I'm thinking of doing another video that I think is pretty interesting. So stay tuned for that about American greed and the American dream. All right, guys. I love you guys so much. Again, this is SYNOLVE. I am so excited that you're here with me on this video. You're here with me on this journey as we talk about these deep, deep subjects that are really important. And shout out to all of the creators who've done work around this because we're really doing some really deep, important work. That's important for you and important for me because we need to discuss our dreams and what we really, really want out of life. I want you to be able to live your own dream and to have the life that you really, really desire, to craft the life that you really, really want and desire for yourself and for your children and for your family and for yourself. All right, guys, again, you can support me by going over to Buy Me a Coffee and supporting my dream and being a part of my dream, and support me as I write this book, Black Exodus. It's an amazing book. You can support a chapter or a page even. You can be a part of my journey and support the work that I do so that I continue to put out amazing videos just like this one. All right, guys, I love you guys so much. And you are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome here. Always, always welcome here on my channel. We're family. You're my royal family, my tribe. And I love you. All right, guys. because you are amazing. You are wonderful. You are smart, intelligent, wise, and you are worthy of living your own dream, of living your own life, of creating and crafting the life that you desire. Remember that. All right? As you go about your day, remember that. Remember to choose you. All right, guys, this is SYNOLVE. I'm signing off, and I'm going to see you in another video real soon. Bye-bye, guys.